Have you ever looked at your paycheck and thought, where did all my money go? You see the deductions, federal tax, state tax, social security, and by the time you're paid, a big chunk of your income is gone. Meanwhile, billionaires fly private, buy mega mansions, own sports teams, and still pay less in taxes than a middle-class worker. How is that even possible? It seems criminal until you find out they're doing it 100% legally. In this video, we're breaking down how the rich pay $0 in federal income taxes legally, and how you can start using the same rules of the game to lower your own tax bill and build lasting wealth. Stick around till the end. The secrets we're about to share, they could completely change how you think about money. The system isn't broken, it's designed this way. Let's start with a reality check. The tax code isn't broken, it was built this way. It's filled with thousands of pages of incentives. Not for you to be an employee, but to become a business owner, an investor, or a job creator. Because the government doesn't reward labor, it rewards those who take financial risks, invest in assets, and stimulate the economy. So if you're working 9 to 5 and wondering why your taxes are so high, it's because you're playing the game on hard mode without even knowing it. The rich, they're just playing on developer mode. Let's break down exactly how they do it. The 3 types of income and why you're taxed the hardest. First, let's talk about the 3 types of income. Earned income, money from a job, wages, salary, tips, portfolio income, money from investments, stocks, dividends, interest, passive income, rental income, royalties, or business ownership. Most people rely on earned income, and that's taxed at the highest rate, up to 37% federally, and even more with state taxes. Now compare that to long-term capital gains from investments, which are taxed at 0% to 20%, or real estate income, which is often completely offset by deductions like depreciation. The wealthy structure their lives to avoid earned income entirely. They earn from assets, not time. That's why they can make millions and pay close to nothing in taxes. The buy, borrow, die loop. The richest tax strategy on earth. Here's one of the most powerful wealth strategies you've never heard about. Buy, borrow, die. Let's say a billionaire owns $1 billion in stock, say in Tesla. If they sell it, they'd owe capital gains tax, easily $200 million or more. So what do they do instead? They borrow against it. Banks love lending to the ultra-rich because their stock serves as collateral. So the billionaire borrows, say, $100 million at 2% interest. That loan isn't income, so it's tax-free. They use that money to live their life, buy homes, fly private, fund foundations. And because they never sell the asset, they never realize a taxable event. When they die, the asset passes on to their heirs, and thanks to a legal provision called the step-up in basis, the heirs get the asset tax-free too. That's the buy, borrow, die loop. It's legal, it's brilliant, and it's one of the biggest open secrets in wealth building. Real estate, the tax shelter the IRS loves. Next up, real estate. If you want to slash your taxes like the wealthy do, real estate might be your best friend. Here's why. When you own rental property, you get to write off mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance repairs, and maintenance, travel to and from the property, and more. But the real magic is something called depreciation. Depreciation is a tax deduction based on the idea that your property wears out over time, even if it's actually going up in value. It lets you deduct tens of thousands of dollars every year on paper, reducing your taxable income while your property actually makes you richer. Use something called cost segregation, and you can separate the building into the components: plumbing, wiring, HVAC, and depreciate them faster. And with bonus depreciation, you can accelerate those deductions into the first year. In many cases, you could buy a property, collect rent, and still pay 0 in income taxes for years. No wonder nearly every wealthy person owns real estate. Business ownership, tax flexibility. The rich rely on employees get taxed before they ever touch their money. Business owners, they get to spend first, then pay taxes. Let's say you start a small business, even a side hustle. You could potentially deduct a home office, your internet bill, a portion of your rent or mortgage, your phone and laptop, meals and travel, business education, software subscriptions, your car if used for business, even medical insurance and retirement plans. These are all ordinary and necessary business expenses, according to the IRS. When you deduct them, your taxable income drops, sometimes to 0. That's why many entrepreneurs pay far less tax than employees making the same money. And it's why the IRS gives businesses so many breaks, because businesses create jobs, pay payroll taxes, and grow the economy. Retirement accounts, not just for the middle class. Think retirement accounts are just for regular workers. The wealthy know better. They max out Roth IRAs, where your money grows and is withdrawn tax-free. Solo 401, KSS, ideal for self-employed individuals with contribution limits of over $60,000. HSAs. Health savings accounts, which offer tax deductions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses used correctly. These are tax-free wealth vehicles that grow for decades. And while most people put in a few thousand a year, the rich often stack these accounts across family members and business entities, multiplying the effect. Charitable foundations, donor-advised funds, and trusts. Another way the rich lower their taxes? By giving it away strategically. Rich individuals set up private foundations or donor-advised funds. They donate stocks, real estate, or cash and receive a massive tax deduction. The money grows tax-free inside the fund, and they still get to direct where it goes, sometimes even employing family members to run the foundation. It's philanthropy with perks. They also use trusts to protect assets and pass on wealth without triggering estate taxes. The right trust structure can eliminate millions in future taxes. Estate attorneys and tax planners help the wealthy legally shield their wealth for generations. The loopholes you can legally use right now. You may not be a billionaire, but there are still legal strategies you can use today to keep more of your money. Start a small business. Even a part-time gig can unlock tax deductions. Buy assets that appreciate: stocks, real estate, even digital assets. Use tax-advantaged accounts. Max out your Roth IRA, HSA, or 401k. Hold investments for over 1 year, so you pay capital gains rates, not income rates. Use smart debt, not for liabilities, but to acquire assets, just like the wealthy do. Hire a tax strategist. Don't just use TurboTax. Work with someone who plans your taxes, not just files them. The rich don't work harder. They work smarter. Let's be real. The rich aren't sitting in cubicles grinding 60 hours a week. They're using structures, strategies, and systems to protect their money. They play by a different set of rules, ones that are written in plain sight in the tax code. You can complain about it, or you can learn it and use it. Because the moment you shift from "how much can I make" to "how can I keep what I make," that's when wealth truly begins. So here's the truth. The game is rigged. But not against you. It's just that no one ever taught you the rules. While most people trade time for money and pay taxes first, the rich build businesses, own appreciating assets, use debt smartly, claim strategic deductions, invest tax efficiently, pass on wealth through trusts and foundations, and they do it all within the law. So the next time you hear that someone worth hundreds of millions paid $0 in taxes, remember this. It's not magic, it's not fraud, it's not shady loopholes, it's strategy. And now, you know how to use it too.